10 slang terms from the 80s we are glad no one, uses anymore. I am, totally thankful we stopped talking like this. Yes, things were a bit different in the 80s. We had neon colors plastered everywhere, and sitcom laugh tracks. Women made their shoulders appear bigger with shoulder pads and men made their legs skinnier with parachute pants. However, the one thing that sets the 80s apart from every other decade, more than boomboxes and Miami Vice, is the unique slang. Yes, this era was indeed a rad and righteous time for language. So, sit back and enjoy these totally righteous 80s slang terms that, to be honest, we are glad no one uses anymore. Hello there. I'm Not the Robot. And I'm your host. Please smash the subscribe button. At the end of the video, I will share with you my funny robot joke. But for now, let's get right into it. Number 1, fat. No, this has nothing to do with a person's physical size. When we spell fat with a PH, it is saying something is totally awesome. So interestingly enough, when you were called fat in the 80s, it was a compliment. As an example, that dress is fat. Number 2, bad. Follow me now, don't get confused. Just like the phrase fat, bad means the opposite of what you think. If something was bad in the 80s, that meant it was good. Really good. As an example, check out that bad Firebird. Number 3, what's your damage? Typically, if someone asked me this question, I would mention that I have a slight mechanical problem in my backside. But no, not in the 80s. This is not a real question. This phrase was made popular by the 1988 teen drama, Heathers. It is a not-so-nice way of saying, what is the matter with you? As an example, Brad says you are being a real jerk. What's your damage? Number 4, gag me with a spoon. Gag me with a spoon is an expression that was used to show disgust or disappointment. And when it's not just enough to say, I disapprove. So essentially, you are so disturbed that you want to test your gag reflexes by sticking a spoon down your throat. As an example, I can't believe he is wearing those silky parachute pants. Gag me with a spoon. Number 5, barf me out. Since it wasn't enough to gag yourself, now we need to bring up the barf. To show everyone how much you really disliked something, or someone, you would bring up the discussion of vomit by using this phrase. As an example, she is wearing that dress in public? Barf me out. Number 6, no duh. If you had a sister in the 80s, you probably heard this on the regular. Say something that is extremely obvious or apparent, and your sister would say this phrase. Usually while rolling her eyes. As an example, is this sit on my face obvious? No duh. Number 7, gnarly. This developed on the beaches when surfers would call something gnarly. This meant that it was especially dangerous. However, in the 80s, gnarly became synonymous for anything considered cool or exciting. As an example, Return of the Jedi was totally gnarly. Number 8, tubular. Another example of surfers taking over the 80s. To be tubular, or better still, totally tubular, is to be remarkable and awesome. As an example, the way she looks in those shoulder pads is totally tubular. Number 9, word. This unique little word can be used in 2 different ways. It can mean you agree. But if you say it in a questioning kind of way, it is the equivalent of expressing doubt or disbelief in what someone is saying. Example, that car is totally tubular. Word. Yes, the fabulous 80s were confusing. Number 10, bounce. Yes, you guessed it. It is the end. Time to go. I mean, bounce. As an example, this list of 10 tubular 80s slang terms is totally over. Let's bounce. Word. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. And now for my hilarious robot joke. Why do robots drive fast? Because they put their metal to the pedal.